Good morning to all of you. And we want to introduce our guest this morning. Roxy Nelson Dafeamkpor is a member of Parliament for South Dying. Good morning, Nelson.
Good morning. Good morning.
And Andre Japamesa is also here. Member of Parliament for Second. All of them are legal practitioners, so that's a good thing about it. Good morning to all of you. Did you have a good time yesterday? Or you never watched the Anas exposition?
Well, let me just say good morning to yourself and my very good friend Roxanne and our cherished viewers, particularly those in my constituency. My day rather started on a bad note. One of my constituents, a very good friend of mine, Atu Ali, lost his son, 8-year-old son, on his way to school. A vehicle knocked him down and killed him.
Was it crossing from the neighborhood?
Well, small neighborhood, so you would not expect, that a child going to school.
Was it a main road?
No, it wasn't a main road. I don't know whether you know Second yet. I'm at the Ambra community.
Okay.
It's a very small neighborhood, and sadly, he lost the 8-year-old boy. My sincere condolences to him and his entire family. I hear the young man is going to be buried this morning. Unfortunately, I would have wished to be there, but other commitments here in Accra cannot.
Our condolences to the family.
Yeah.
Atu Ali.
Yes, it's popularly known as Igwe. And of course, Anas happened. I didn't have the chance to watch it yesterday, though. I got a ticket later in the evening after my program on Asampa. So I would see if I can find time today, within the constraints that I have, to go and take a view of the events as they unfold on screen, to see what it is that really is new beyond what I've heard snipers from people. Yeah.
All right. You watched?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I saw a couple of people, the George Lowe, a couple of people. I saw some members of Parliament also.
Let me
I thought it's just next door.
To say good morning to my constituents in South Nine, customarily. Beki Bali Peve Tongo, Germany especially. It was a hectic day yesterday. The house was busy. And so when we rose around 3:30. And that was about the time that the screening had begun.
Okay.
And right from the corridors of Job 600, you could see the milling crowd. And so it discouraged me from going. But the contents are all well known now. I hope my only worry is that in most jurisdictions, GFA president should have tendered in his resignation letter by now.
Ideally.
You see,
you mean in the West?
Not in the West. Oh. In most jurisdictions.
I think in the West.
No, not in the West. Why? It happens in Africa. You have to protect the institution of the GFA. All right?
Okay. So that would be the intent?
Yes. Protect the institution of the GFA. That's all I'm saying.
Before you deal with the reputational issues.
You don't convene an emergency meeting and issue a statement. A statement that seeks to insult our intelligence.
You read the statement?
Yes. And it's very sad for them to...
I haven't seen the statement. What does it say?
To the extent that they are alleging that they were not given the opportunity to even come and view the video. Why? GFA is 100 meters away from International Conference Center.
It was an exclusively invitation-only event.
It was not. It was open to everybody.
All right, so let me just break.
I'll leave it there.
So let me just let us run through, just for the benefit of all of us, including myself, Andre Japamesa, and those viewing as well. There's a press release from the Ghana Football Association, and it reads, I'll read all of it so that nobody will say maybe we partly read it. The Ghana Football Association's attention, according to the statement, as it continues, has been drawn to the airing of a documentary by Tiger IPI alleging acts of corruption by some match officials and senior officials of the Federation. The GFA was not provided with an opportunity to watch the premiering of the documentary, as it was neither provided with an advance copy of the said documentary, nor furnished with tickets by Tiger IPI to watch the airing. Though the GFA did not commission Tiger IPI to undertake this exercise and have not been provided with the opportunity of watching the documentary, the statement says they view the allegations circulating in the media very seriously and would wish to take immediate steps to address them. To this end, they believe it is only fair, and that will be the GFA, and proper, that Tiger IPI furnishes the GFA with the said documentary, and hereby requests Tiger IPI as a matter of urgency to furnish the GFA with all the recorded material on the documentary to enable the GFA forward it to the appropriate quarters for further investigations. The GFA wishes to emphasize that it is an association incorporated under the laws of Ghana and as such governed by the laws of Ghana as well as its own rules and regulations. It is affiliated to CAF and FIFA. The GFA wishes to place on record that there will be no attempt of a cover-up or shield any of its members caught in alleged acts of corruption. The GFA wishes to assure all that, as an institution, it does not condone any manner of corrupt practices. The statement says the GFA wishes to put on record that 8 months ago, it got evidence of some external influences seeking to manipulate matches in various competitions. As soon as it became clear to the GFA that they were facing the possibility of some external influences seeking to destroy the sanctity of the game in Ghana, the GFA, according to this statement, said they wrote to FIFA seeking assistance to help combat this menace. The action, according to the statement, the GFA took was in furtherance of the association's own desire to fight against match manipulation and maintain the integrity of the game and the federation. The GFA, as we're quoting now, said they received a full FIFA response a few days later and with an action plan on how the association can fight the menace of match manipulation through a roadmap for the implementation of the National Integrity Initiative, etc., etc. They say they're working with the FIFA Integrity Department and all that. So, succinctly, that's what the statement says. Continue.
Yes, you see, we have seen several scandals broke within the continental body as well as the global body, and almost immediately you leave office. So there are precedents within their own system. The former general secretary, the Vicar,
president,
Blatter himself,
the vice,
all of them.
Africa.
You know, Africa, it happened. So my worry is that he shouldn't be sitting on his seat this morning. You
are not by any way imagining that he's the one who uttered the statement, are you?
Why? He will convene the meeting. Who will convene the meeting? This is not a statement that any other member or even the PRO could just get up an issue. It has to be based on the decision of the executive committee. So I suspect strongly that they convened yesterday an emergency meeting and directed that this be done. And I am saying, instead of this statement, I should be reading his resignation letter this morning instead of this.
Counsel, I mean,
they shouldn't
I'm surprised at your reaction.
But are you reacting to him, or we're making you're making comments?
You don't have to be surprised.
No, I'm surprised at his reaction
because you see, comment. Let me finish. I am only saying that based on the contents of the video, not before, but now I speak of the after, based on the content of the video that has been made public, Nyantakyi should be leaving office until his name is cleared. He should step aside. That's what I'm saying, based on the things we have seen on the video.
But you see, if the man hasn't been given an opportunity to view it, how is he going to make an assessment?
Should that be the norm before?
I think so. It is only fair, natural justice. Okay, give the man an opportunity. And look, the statement, let me put it on record.
From
what I've heard,
doctrine of natural justice.
Please, let me finish.
Then
please.
I'll rebut. Yeah.
Let me put it on record that from what I've heard,
You
I
have
don't
not
think
seen the
that
video.
I haven't seen it.
You have not even watched snippets of it.
Oh, I've
small
watched bits and
clippings.
pieces on
The internet,
social media.
social media.
I don't think that his occupancy of the position will be tenable. Okay.
You are saying ultimately.
Yes.
But before any actions are taken, don't you think there's a need to
that's why
have recourse to him setting us?
Absolutely. But that would be grounded on him or the GFA being given an opportunity to see the content of the documentary.
You mean full content?
Whatever it is.
You have seen snippets. You haven't
I have
watched
seen
the full
snippets.
content. Yes. You don't think the
That's why I
snippets?
said that from what I've heard, because
You don't think the
yesterday evening,
snippets that you've watched could warrant anybody? If I was, for example, the GFA
you
president,
see, you don't get the point. The point that you and I have seen it doesn't mean that the GFA have seen the content
You mean-
or snippets of it.
You mean formally and legally?
Whatever it is. And so if the statement is to the effect that, look, give us an opportunity by furnishing us a copy of the documentary or give us tickets to come and watch, I think it's only fair and proper. We live in a country of due process. And they themselves said in their statement that they are bound by the laws of this country. And asking for a copy of the documentary to watch to enable them make an assessment as to whether Kwesi should stay for a week, a day, or even leave yesterday, I don't think it's out of place. I don't think at all. And like I said, from what I've heard, I don't think he will remain the president of the GFA beyond a certain time frame.
No, why not from now?
But you see, Roland, from now, based on what? Based on public sentiments alone? Possibly. But asking for an opportunity to view the tape, I'm saying it's not out of place.
You are saying that positions being tendered by a member of parliament and others who are members of parliament and others of like minds are public sentiments.
You see, you are asking that you expect the gentleman to resign. Correct?
Do I expect?
No, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, okay.
That
okay.
what he was expecting to be reading.
Very well.
It's not a statement from the GFA, but a resignation from Mr. Nyantakyi. And I'm saying that the man is claiming not to have been given an opportunity to see the tape. So what if all the things that is being said about him are mere speculation and is not in the tape? So they asking for an opportunity to view the tape. It's not out of place. So I would think that if Tiger Eye wants their work to yield the benefit that all of us are expecting or clamoring for, giving a copy or giving tickets to the GFA to afford them an opportunity to look at what it is that they have done, staring them in their faces, it's not out of place at all.
There are a number of personalities in
May I rebut?
Yes, whilst you rebut, there are a number of personalities in the video who necessarily don't work with the GFA, National Sports Authority, etc. They all need to be given tickets. Is that the assumption or the presumption?
That's what he's saying. But my rebuttal of his position will be that. So, on what basis did Nyantakyi go to the police to say that he was denying the charges that were being leveled against him?
No, because he had been.
Hold on. If he hasn't seen the video. All right? If you hadn't seen the video, on what basis are you denying the charges? It means you are fully aware of the contents. Because you are already under police investigations. I am not making an institutional argument. I am making an argument from the integrity perspective concerning the persona, concerning the president of the GFA, a statutory body.
How is GFA a statutory body?
Why?
What legislation created the Ghana
Why?
Football Association?
Yes, is there GFA law?
With GFA law?
Oh, please.
According to the statement, they are incorporated.
You know, so if you say if you say that you cannot, all right, you cannot resign, or he ought not to resign until he gets the opportunity to view the video, is in a way encouraging this sort of things to happen.
You don't seem to get the point that I'm making.
No, you are not getting the point.
You don't seem to get
You are not getting the point. The person has gone to the police to write his caution statement. And in the caution statement, he has denied the charges based on this video. Now the video has been made public. And you are saying that he ought to be given the opportunity to view the video before he does the needful.
That's not what I said.
But that's what you are saying.
I'm saying that
I have listened to you.
Request
You are saying
to be given an opportunity to view it. It's not out of place. Because they are alleging that they haven't seen it.
Exactly.
Correct? And
exactly.
I'm saying that asking for an opportunity to view it, for me, it's not out of place at all.
My point, exactly my rebuttal, my point is not for GFA executive members to resign and block. You're also not getting my point. I am saying that the protagonist in this matter, the person of Kwesi Nyantakyi, should protect the sanctity of GFA. That's what I'm saying. The office that he occupies, as soon as this video had been made public and the contents have been known, he should leave.
Why?
So there are further investigations. In any case, your executive committee is saying it's an allegation. So if allegations have been made and as serious as this, you need to step aside. That is my point.
Anyway.
Okay.
If you disagree with that position, you have made it clear. But I am saying that he should leave for the executive committee to continue to do what they have to do.
GFA incorporated, of course, but they come under certain rules and guidelines of FIFA.
What I mean is the GFA statutes. Yes.
The international body. And so they operate within a certain confines. Could the president of our republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, let's say by yesterday evening, come to a certain conclusion and say, I'm issuing the statement, I'm dissolving the GFA, would there have been any rule or regulation or law in Ghana?
I don't think that he has the power to do that. Because clearly,
we've seen something.
Is an incorporated entity. And the only way that that incorporated entity can be dissolved is in accordance with the this is the Liquidations Act or bankruptcy or whatever. You know,
we fund the GFA with public funds.
You don't fund the GFA with public funds.
You advance money.
Why?
We advance money
we
to
fund
them.
them with public funds.
And then they return the money.
And I'm saying that it happened in Nigeria.
Roland,
Nigeria dissolved the NFA.
But they were banned by FIFA.
Why?
It's
FIFA later.
It's important
but
that
you have to reinstall the status quo.
Yes.
Look,
you return to status quo.
But in the face of all this,
we are being viewed or watched by thousands of people. And we need to provide accurate information.
Oh, Mesa, don't do that.
No, it's important.
Don't do that.
And I know this as a matter of fact.
And I'm saying the state has the power to dissolve the GFA.
The state hasn't got that power.
It has that power. In the face of what is happening, it has that power.
Oh, so is it conditional?
Yes,
but if you have a power, it ought to be across board.
Absolutely.
Not across board. You have the power that in these circumstances, I can dissolve this body.
Because of a crisis. Because it's a crisis situation.
The Republic of Ghana hasn't got the power to do that.
It has the power to do it.
Because you see,
unless you are not willing to exercise
GFA is not a public funded institution. It is the management of the Black Stars and the national teams that the GFA does on behalf of the Republic of Ghana that the state funds. Let's get the distinction clear. I'm saying that, you see, look, I've said countless times that I have a personal relationship with Mr. Nyantakyi.
You do?
Yes.
Exactly.
I have said so. And I have also said that regardless, I think people should be held accountable for their actions. I have said here and now that I think that from what I have heard, his continued stay as GFA president will clearly be untenable. Okay? But I would grant them in the interest of fairness. If you don't have a ticket, there's absolutely no way you would have the capacity to go and watch the video. Okay? Now, the GFA has issued a statement saying that, look, we haven't had an opportunity to view this documentary that is out there.
It's an insult to our intelligence. That's my point.
Anyway,
and I insist that
you're entitled to your
yes,
view.
and I insist that Question Nyantakyi should be leaving office this morning.
But you see, all. Roland,
yes.
Roland, what does it take? Really, what does it take for Tiger IPI to go and deposit 10 tickets at the GFA this morning, asking them to come and view the documentary? At least, if they decline or Kwesi doesn't take the actions that you expect him to take tomorrow, or the GFA does not compel him to take the action tomorrow, we would be right in saying that, well, they gave you an opportunity, but you declined to exploit that opportunity. And so calls coming from you and anybody else for that matter would be justified. But until then, I think that it is reasonable. It is a reasonable request.
All right.
For the institution to ask that.
The two of you have no worry. You're doing legal debate. It's okay. It's okay. Now, you know, Kenny Japan, we say a lot of things, but Parliament has taken the matter further. We want to get some snippets of some contributions from your colleagues, and then we'll come in. And we know many of the things that he said, but let's take an insight from the man himself, the Asin Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy Japan.
So the amount the evidence about chairman and Beguasi.
Osei Mensa Bones will be disgraced if I release the evidence I have on him.
Are you out of your mind? Parliament in a fool. Maybe a small boy now.
I have much more experience in life than Che Mensa. Even though he is older, I will deal with him if he misbehaves. What I earn from Parliament is peanuts compared to how much I spend.
I'm chop money to my head. I own young Kunti, what the found. Yet the bayo say I'll stop one ass, Bonina Wodi. Near genuine investigators.
We need to stop an ass and find genuine investigators.
Mensa, he shouldn't make himself as a thing God. Parliament 107.1.
And as a result of that, we've had commentary from Alhaji Muntanka Bubarak and the minority as a caucus or a side of the House reporting this. I think being supported by other speakers on the floor as well. And the matter has been moved by the Speaker to the Privileges Committee, I'm told. Just show viewpoint first on the comment and subsequently the actions taken by the Speaker.
Well, I do not know whether as Vice Chair of the Privileges Committee it will be proper for me to make any comments on this matter.
You are conflicted.
My colleague here may wish to guide me in that regard.
Okay.
But I don't think that will be appropriate, particularly since the Speaker yesterday himself is the chairman of the Privileges Committee and had to make the referral. And you are the vice. And I'm the vice chair.
Okay, let me just let me just reframe my question to save you from all that. Usually, if matters of a nature of a member of Parliament making derogatory statements against any member or a member of the leadership of Parliament, what usually are the procedures and how do you deal with it as a Privileges Committee?
Well, our rules provide that whenever there is an issue that borders on the infringement of either the privileges and immunities of members of Parliament, a motion is tabled by a member who feels that the issue should be brought to the attention of the House for a decision to be taken on by the Speaker as to whether there is any merit in the application for it to be referred to the Privileges Committee. So that's exactly what happened yesterday with Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak moving a motion indicating that the comments that had been made by Honorable Kennedy Japan were insulting to the House was one that had brought the reputation of the House into disrepute. And that, per the rules, that action by Honorable Kennedy Japon in itself was one that is subject to an issue that needs referral to the Privileges Committee for investigations to be conducted into. I believe that after the matter was debated, of course, every motion that is moved and seconded is then opened up for debate, after which the Speaker then makes a ruling, having listened to both sides of those for or against the motion. And so that's what transpired yesterday, and the matter has been duly referred to the Privileges Committee for some investigation to be conducted into it.
Your own viewpoint, sir?
Yeah, it's, yesterday, based on certain comments reported and carried by several other media platforms, the minority chief whip, the Honorable Mohamed Muntaka, moved the House that some aspects of the comments attributable to the Honorable Kennedy Japon were contemptuous of Parliament and as an institution and of its powers. And so, and particularly of the leader of the House. And so by extension, he has breached the privileges. So on that basis, he prayed the Speaker to refer his conduct to the Privileges Committee. The motion was ably seconded by the ranking on constitutional affairs, the Honorable Inusaf Hussaini, with further comments by the Honorable Katie Amond, the Honorable Chiri, and one other person. And so the Speaker, after the comments by members, duly referred the motion, granted the motion, and referred it appropriately. Now, the issue is very simple. What happened yesterday is properly anchored in law. It's constitutionally guaranteed that under such circumstances it can be done. It's also anchored by our standing orders. And there are consequences if the findings of the committee that will be brought to plenary makes a positive finding. The consequences are there. It could lead to expulsion. So it's a very critical matter that we hope that it can be handled in a manner that will engender cohesion and going forward. So you see that I'm struggling to deal with the matter because it's a very serious issue. So that was what happened. You know, the comments, some are are captured in the video, others too have been reported in the print media.
And some in audio too.
An
extraction.
Okay. So this is where we are as a house.
Okay. And I see that you're bound by your own rules and
in fact the Constitution, if you read from Article 115
and also it's coming from a member, and the statement has been made public and etc. But if you were not a member of Parliament, how would you view some of these comments? You're not speaking as a vice chair of the privileges
committee.
committee.
I cannot delink.
He can't decouple himself.
Unfortunately, I cannot. And
you cannot?
Of course, if I was not a member of the committee, then, I can speak to the issues and get away with it. But to the extent that I'm a member of the committee and the vice chair of the committee of privileges, I don't think that would be appropriate for me to make any comments on this matter. Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So, according to the Minority Chief Whip, Nyantakyi Mubarak, the MP in the interview described Parliament as useless, in quotes, for electing Osei Mensah-Bonsu. Now, let's take this instead from him, the man himself.
Very unpalatable. Just for the sake of you, I'll just refer to only one, and not. I have the video and I have a lot of the publication to have referred to Parliament as cheap, useless. Mr. Speaker, I have the tape here. Our colleague is referring to this house as a cheap and useless house. And just to paraphrase, that if this house was not useless, you don't have the like of our leader, Honorable Osei Mensah-Bonsu, to be its leader. Mr. Speaker, I find this very offensive, unbecoming of a member of Parliament, and for the past week or so, he's been on rampaging insults. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under this to move that our honorable colleague, Honorable Kennedy Ejapong, be referred to the Privilege Committee on the basis of his conduct and utterances against this House, against the Majority Leader, and against many well-meaning Ghanaians. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
The pronouncement of our honorable colleague is becoming unbecoming. The leader, the majority leader, is a leader of government business in this House. And this, if we were running a parliamentary democracy, you would have been the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, and we say that it is precisely because this is our Parliament, the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, guaranteed and sanctioned by the Constitution of Ghana, which Constitution gives you the right, the freedom of expression. It's a useless Parliament. And we are foolish, including Mr. Speaker. And it's precisely because we are foolish. It's precisely because we are foolish. That is why we have elected the majority leader to preside over the business of government in this House. Mr. Speaker, and over the foolishness that we do in this House. Mr. Speaker, I don't think we are that foolish. Mr. Speaker, I don't think we are that foolish.
For me, what is contemptuous, irrespective of who is making that contemptuous statement. For now, we can only proceed on the assumption that the honorable member made those statements. We need to give him the opportunity to clear himself. And the opportunity can only be availed to the honorable member if he appears before a committee, because this matter has gone viral, it's all over the place, and we need to clear, he needs to clear his name, and we need to clear the dignity of Parliament. On that score, I support the call by my colleague, the Minority Chief Whip, that the matter be referred to Privileges Committee to delve into the matter, either to establish the truth or otherwise of the allegation. Mr. Speaker, I support the call. It is always important for all of us to get opportunity to clear our names when we are cited.
In the heat of anger, which I am of the view should not even be too much associated with a man who's supposed to represent a crowd, your capacity to control your temper is evidence of maturity. And if in the fit of anger you want to come and denigrate this house, and the leader and the rest of them. So therefore, if where we make the laws of this country is an assembly of buffoons, oh please, this will be investigated, coming from anybody, because we've been entrusted to bring about the laws of this country. So we have the sanity of this country is in our hands. People don't know what lawmaking is all about. Lawmaking is how people begin to come under law, so that men will not exalt themselves above law.
Singh Central is alleged to have uttered words that this house is a foolish assembly of members. Otherwise, we would not elect the majority leader as the leader of the house. If indeed he uttered those words, they are clearly against Order 28 and Order 30, Rule 2. In the circumstances, I direct that Mr. Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, Honorable Member for Asin Central, appears before the Privileges Committee for the committee to determine whether indeed he uttered those words which are attributed to him, and if so, recommend the appropriate sanctions to the House.
So it's before the Privileges Committee, and as if we knew, we didn't know that though, that he was, we should have known, vice of the Privileges
because
Committee.
It's not a very active committee.
It's a big man.
You know, so...
and usually we don't introduce you by that, so...
Everybody knows me to be a member of the communications
yeah, we're not guided.
committee.
We're not guided.
Yeah,
we brought you here,
and that is chairman too.
We brought the two of you here.
Communications committee.
And he's the chairman of the communications committee.
And he's a member.
And I'm a member of the communications committee.
I know he's a chairman of the, but I didn't know that you were a member of it. Okay.
They took you from constitutional. They took this fine material away from
so
us.
we're guided.
Oh no, but of course, I'm a permanent friend of the committee.
But before the close of the news day yesterday, it was all over that the president had made some changes to the heads of some state enterprises. We have the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Kolebu, that's not formal yet, but BOST and the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority had been made formal. Gifty Clenham as well as Felix Anya of Kolebu had also been speculated. At least once the Daily Guide says it, usually is that. But let's move on. Came as a surprise to many.
You know, we have been expecting these things long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's several allegations have been made against each of them, and several others. We think a lot more will be fired from today or tomorrow. I suspect so. You see, but my issue is with the reasons that have been assigned.
You think they're not plausible?
I know. How can you say you are restructuring institutions and therefore you are firing the heads of those institutions? Who does restructuring like that? And technically in law, when is the restructuring report? Because it will lead to redundancy. When is the redundancy package negotiated? We want to see it. So they shouldn't play those things with us. We are more intelligent than that. They are firing them because of the several acts of corruption that have been attributed to them. Remember A+ issue with Dr. Anya, for instance, in Kolebu. The boss, that one is notorious. Clenham is alleged to have engaged themselves in some corrupt acts, buying air tickets, paying themselves fat rent allowance and all, recently. All right? Then in respect of Gapoa, you know it's been established that he is behind the agitation by the
You mean your sources have established?
Yes, that is behind the agitation by the workers against the board chair recently. You know, so, and a lot of allegations have been leveled against the top management within Gapoa, you know, and the way contracts are awarded. So I know that the axe will get him. So you see, they should tell us that these persons or CEOs are being fired because of the reports of acts of corruption that have been leveled against them, and the president wants them to step aside for further investigations to be conducted.
But at least not the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Director General.
Why? If you are on a collision course with your board chair, how can the institution function?
But he doesn't have any act of corruption.
You know, there are reports even regarding the award of contracts within GAPOA, vis-a-vis the coming in of the board chair, his children, we are told. No, there are a lot of issues, and the wife, how air tickets, the prices of air tickets are inflated, and a lot more. So it's a very murky area. So they should tell us that we are asking these people, we are terminating them because of these issues, so we can appoint others. You know, instead of telling us we are restructuring. The restructuring is a legal term. To restructure corporate institutions is a legal term. It's an exercise you conduct to the extent that you commission lawyers to conduct due diligence, because it will lead to redundancy.
Or audit houses.
Yes. So
mischief.
It's not about mischief, bro. You know. So tell us, you are cleaning house.
Mischief in chief.
They are talking too much, so you are cleaning house. It's as simple as that. We have agitated the minority, the boss. We agitated that it should be sacked. They insisted that the boy was clean. Here we are. So I'll leave it there.
But the reason is restructuring.
No, and I disagree with that. I'm saying that it cannot be due to restructuring. It's a legal term. You don't restructure GAPOA in a day.
Very well.
You don't restructure Boston in a day.
You see,
you don't restructure Kolebu in a day.
I have seen 2 of the letters.
You have?
I haven't seen the 3rd. It's on social media.
And the 4th.
It's on your Joy.
No, you seem not to be
mischief.
You seem not to be seeing a lot of things. That's why. That's why.
I didn't.
4 people.
Say it again.
You seem not to be seeing a lot of things.
But
I'm surprised you saw this one.
The GFA thing.
The GFA what? The statement that they had issued.
No, the video.
What video?
Oh, the Anas video. I mean,
I told you that I saw the ones on social media.
No, but it seems that you don't seem to.
Very
in fact,
see a lot of things.
In fact, yesterday, I saw a friend of mine repost Anas's page. I didn't get time to look at the video then, but her comment was pretty interesting. So it was later in the evening that I went back, and I couldn't find it on the page. So I went to Anas's page to view the clips on there, you know, that they had advertised. So, yeah, but like I said, I've seen the letter to Mr. Obin, and that's the one that it has that as part of the restructuring of parastatal companies and agencies. The letter to Mr. Ansa
GAPOA
does not make reference to any restructuring. So it is not the case that the reasons that were assigned for the termination of the appointment of these persons was across board restructuring of parastatals. It is not the case.
So what reason was assigned?
Paul Ansas was directly to him. Mr. Alfred Obin was to the minister, indicating that, look, the president had intent of undertaking certain activities within these agencies, and that he is asking for that he has decided to terminate Mr. Alfred Obin's appointment and to ask the minister to take steps to ensure that that is effected by Friday, 8th June 2018. You see, I get baffled by the twist that my friends on the other side always want to put to issues. We all know that the president has executive power. He has the power to appoint a person to certain positions, and he is not bound.
But all he and his other members are saying is that it's not coincidental.
Let me build my point, and that he's not bound.
It's taking you too long
to provide any reason whatsoever for terminating anybody's appointment.
No, he's bound.
By which law?
He's bound, and I'll tell you. You make the appointments in consultation with the Public Services Commission, for instance, in consultation with the board. Now,
and
my
so
worry,
if he is terminating,
yes,
he terminates in consultation with the Public Services.
There has to be a
Show
reason.
me the rule.
There has to be a reason.
Show me the rule.
Corporate governance. Why is the president terminating and not the board?
But,
what sort of abuse of office is that?
Why is there going to be any cause for alarm and certain sentiment of abuse of corporate governance? When we have precedent, we've had precedents.
Hold on,
we've had precedents.
You are usurping the powers of the board.
But we've had precedents,
such as precedent doesn't make it law. We terminated the appointment of Lawyer Okujeto as a board member of Bank of Ghana. He went to court.
Are you done?
I am.
Show me the Bust Act, which says that when the president is terminating the appointment of the chief executive of Bust, he needs to comply with certain provisions of any law like that.
I am saying.
But the Bank of Ghana Act is completely different.
I am saying.
So don't mix apples with oranges.
I am not mixing apples with oranges.
Please,
this is a very serious
You've made your point.
Yes.
Let me make mine. Okay. The president has the power to appoint and remove people that, he puts in positions. Of course, if he wants to make subsequent appointments, then the Constitution enjoins him to consult certain persons or individuals or institutions to enable him comply with the provisions of the law. And he need not provide any reason. And that's exactly what has been done. The president promised a certain direction for this country. He's assessed the performance of these individuals over the period. And he thinks that it's about time that they step aside and he engages other people to carry on from here. It's as simple as that. Yesterday, I heard in the media space that these terminations were deliberate to coincide with the release of Anas's documentary to divert attention. Now, today, after the video became public and everybody saw that the president was not implicated in any way.
Is that your opinion?
I've told you that I haven't watched it, but
listen,
yesterday evening,
you all come here to express your
opinion. People who have watched it have said that clearly all the hula baloo that you guys created from the complaint that was lodged at the CID for Mr. Nyantakyi's arrest and drew all sorts of inferences.
Who lodged the complaint?
The president.
Yes. On what grounds?
But what's your issue?
On what grounds is the president complaining?
All the hula baloo.
On what grounds is the old man complaining?
I will belabor the point.
Yeah, exactly.
The discerning people who are watching us
exactly
know the basis for the complaint that the president lodged.
Don't pull in Nyantakyi to termination of CEO's appointment.
And the inferences, the political chaskele that you guys sought to play with that action, said all sorts of things. Now that the video has come, and all the things that you said has been established, at least from those who have watched it, not to be the case. What you went out to speculate was that they were bringing these terminations to coincide with the release of the video to divert attention. Divert attention of
you failed. That one was clear, but you failed. People, you see this morning discussions are based on Anand's video.
Please make a point.
Nelson, you know I'm very versed in this enterprise. I can
Which is?
Distracting,
Oh, no,
heckling.
No, I'm not.
I can do worse than you do.
No, I'm not.
You know it. So let me make my point, and then you
categorical statements.
Well, point. Just let him make his point.
Finish.
So it's the good people of Ghana who are seeing clearly the inconsistencies in your positions that you take on a daily basis. But it's not surprising to me, and I'm sure to many Ghanaians, because your founder himself has seen through your character and has amply described you for who you are. Liars. Concoct matters, put it out there in the public domain, and then provide no proof.
I don't know.
Are you not sitting here that he's attributing the dismissal of these people to things that do not exist? You didn't hear him.
To what things?
Look.
To what things?
All the allegations. Please.
No, hold on.
But in any way,
hold on.
In any way.
Okay, let him land so that I can rebut.
No. In any way, there is as we know, corporate governance manual for governing boards, councils, and
Roland, let him
into
finish
the public services of Ghana, and it states how those appointments could be made, and once the president makes that appointment in consultation with the Public Services Commission, he, according to this, he also has the mandate to terminate that appointment as well.
Thank you very much. And so if the president has exercised his power,
it's actually in chapter 3
to terminate those appointments, you join up. Look, all those spurious allegations that were made about Alfred Obin.
Yes, they were spurious?
Absolutely.
You don't think you could have informed the president to take a decision?
Inform the president to do what? An appropriate state agency conducted investigation to those matters.
Why not any other head of a state agency but than Bost?
Why you want to be the host now?
No, you are just talking. You must finish your point.
The state security agencies investigated those allegations. Of course, when the matter broke, NPA made some statements. It turned out that that regime, the products themselves, did not require any license. And that consistently over years, the practice for disposing of those things was what Mr. Obin had complied and disposed of the products. And so clearly there was a lacuna within the regulations that needed some beefing up. Yet you said all sorts of unprintable things against the gentleman. Diversions have been occurring over the years. Governments have tried to introduce monitoring devices into these bulk transportation vehicles. Still, people find ways to divert products. And there are task forces that have been set up to monitor and track these people down.
And you know that
when some eventuality happens and some trucks are diverted, you say Alfred Obin is the cause of it. What is the proof? They say, well, we have said it. You prove it. Prove otherwise.
Who said so?
That's what you guys say all the time.
Please.
You make the allegations without substantiating it and call on others to provide proof.
It's not true. Some of even the allegations were made by industry players.
Yes.
And as
consumer protection.
Yes, as we speak, there are other allegations, some of which have even resulted in petition.
Umbrella body heads of those who are within the industry. We also have the consumer.
And there's been no denials from Obin and
yes. So the
answers have not been forthcoming. The president may have been worried.
Let the agencies
so I can rebut.
I'm not.
No, there's no rebuttal. We're ending.
But it's not fair because he said things against my person. Listen.
For terminating
you have issued a termination letter and cited the reason as restructuring. And I'm asking you, as a legal practitioner, what in law constitutes restructuring?
Roxy Nelson, the private boy, is a member of parliament for South Dying. He's a legal practitioner. Which of the committees do you belong to in parliament?
Constitutional, legal, and parliamentary affairs, as well as the judiciary committee.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant.
He's a lawyer's lawyer.
Yeah. And also, Andre Japame is a member of parliament for Sekendi, also a legal practitioner. Now you've been given your...
Yes. I got my permission to practice.
Fiat.
That,
Speaker's fiat.
Go and consult.
We'll see.
I wish you the very best of the morning.
Thank you, my